Welcome back, students. So, children, let us continue what we were doing last time in EVS. So, do you remember? I told you that we will do the lesson Our Need for Air in two parts, isn't it? The first part you have already seen it. Now, let us go to the part 2 of lesson number 11 from your textbook. And the name of the lesson is Our Need for Air. So now once again look children how the lungs are filling up with air. Can you see? And now she is breathing out. This person, so whenever it is red, when the color changes to red, look, look her, so that time the lungs are filling up, okay, filling up with air. And then how the lungs are again coming back to their size when it is blue. That time what is happening? That means we are breathing out the air. Okay. So this person, when it changes to red, okay, when it changes to red, when it color changes to red, the lungs are filling up with the air. And when the color changes to blue, that means we are breathing out. So when we breathe in and when we breathe out, look, notice what is happening to the stomach. What is happening? Look, the chest or stomach going up and down. Can you see? Notice carefully. When you can see the arrow to the chest and some part of the stomach. They go up and they go down when we breathe, okay? But now this person is sleeping actually. So when we are sleeping, do we eat or do we drink or do we talk? We do not do any of this when we are sleeping. But there is one thing that we still do when we are sleeping, that is breathing. So that is why breathing is very, very important for us. That means even when we sleep, we are breathing. And why are we doing that? Because our body keeps on needing air. Okay, so even though when we sleep, there are certain parts which are there inside our body, which is continuously working, isn't it? And for working, it needs not only air, but it also needs food and water. But now we are talking about air, so we will talk about air only. Okay, so air is so important for us that even when we sleep, we breathe. Okay, so you can see this person is nicely sleeping and breathing. That means breathing is important for us. So why do we breathe then? It is important, we know, but then how is it important? Why is it important? Let us look. So why do we breathe? All of us children, we breathe. And look, this is the right way to breathe. Okay. Now you can see two openings there. One is the opening of the nose and the other is the opening of the mouth. Now sometimes we tend to breathe through our mouths. Let me tell you, suppose there is very bad smell in a particular area and then you cover your nose because of the smell and you can't hold for long. So sometimes you open your mouth and then you breathe. That is okay once in a while, but remember children, you are always supposed to breathe with your nose and not with your mouth. Okay, so let us come and look now as to why we breathe. So like I told you now, we breathe even when we are sleeping, isn't it? When we are fast asleep also, we are breathing. Now why do we breathe when we are sleeping? Because all our body parts are able to function well because of the air that we breathe. So if you stop breathing, your body will stop functioning. So now your body has got so many parts. Look at the various parts of our body. Now there are some parts of the body which you have heard about and which you know about, whereas there are some parts of the body which you will learn about when you go to a higher class. So let us talk about the parts of the body that we know about now. So we know about our eyes. Okay, so the eyes are the organs which allow us to see. Okay, then our lungs, now which we saw the pictures also of the lungs, where they are growing bigger, and when they are where they are growing smaller again. They were growing bigger and they are coming back to their size. Okay, because of the air that we are breathing. You must have also heard about the intestine, which is there inside your stomach, where the food gets digested. Okay, then you must have heard about the stomach itself, which which feels full when we eat and which starts growling when we are hungry. Okay, our stomachs. Then you must have heard about the kidneys also. Okay, and the very important part of our body, the heart. You can feel the heart. If you place your hand on the chest, you can feel your heart beating. You will be able to hear your heart beating. And also the brain, which is inside in your head, which is very important part of our body. So children, all our body parts are able to function because of the air that we breathe, and of course we because of the food and water also. Okay, so that is why breathing is very important. If you have to live, if you stop breathing, children, you will die immediately. If you drink water for if you do not drink water for 2 days, okay, maybe you will not die. If you do not eat food for 5 or 6 days, maybe you won't die. But if you stop breathing for even 5 minutes, you will die. Okay, so that is how breathing is very important. And why is breathing important? Because we take in air. It is very important for our lives. Okay, air makes you feel fresh and lively. Air makes you feel fresh and lively. You feel very fresh when you are out in the air and you are getting good air to breathe. And air also gives us a lot of energy. Okay, imagine when you are in a closed room with a lot of crowd and you do not get proper air to breathe, you start feeling very tired, isn't it? So air makes you feel fresh and it makes you feel lively. It gives you energy to work and play. Okay, air gives you energy to work and play. Look, you work, you do homework, you go to school, you study. So that's so much of work that you have, children, to do. So all this energy to work as well to play, you get from the air that you breathe, and also from the food and water. So along with the air, it is very important for us to eat also. So air along with food and along with water is very important for our lives. So as we already learned about the water, now we are learning about air. Now in the next lesson you will be learning about food also. So then we will know why all these things are very important for our lives. Okay, so what all things are important? Food is important and air is important, and of course water is also important for our lives. Okay children, and in this same way air is also important for our lives. So is it only human beings that breathe? Isn't it? So that only we people, that is children and your parents and your teachers, isn't it only that people like us human beings only we breathe, or even other animals can also breathe? So let us look at some examples here to find out whether other animals can also breathe, or do they also need to breathe to live. So look at this dog. what is this dog doing? The first one is sleeping. But even when it is sleeping, you can see it breathing, alright? The picture is not very clear, but if you look it very closely and if you look at it for more than a few seconds, you will understand. See, the dog is nicely breathing when it is sleeping. So, like human beings, dogs also need to breathe. And you must have seen that when a dog gets tired, when it runs a lot, then it requires more air, okay? And it breathes like this, like this other dogs breathe. You can see it with the tongue out and breathing heavily, okay? So animals also need to breathe like dogs. Then look at this animal. Oh my god, it is a tiger. Look how tiger is breathing, isn't it? Now there is the place where tiger is living is a little cold. So even in our area where it is cold, you will be able to see how we breathe. So in the same way tiger is breathing. Now children, this tiger or this dog or we human beings, we live on land, okay? And we breathe air which is available around us. Now what about animals which do not live on land? So let us look at some animals. Look here. This beautiful, lovely, colorful fish. So where do these fish live? They live under water, under the ocean, in the rivers, in the seas, and sometimes we keep them at homes also. So how do these animals breathe, children? They live in water. So where do they get air from? Now imagine if someone puts your head inside the water. You will be able to breathe. You will get very suffocated, isn't it? You will try to come out of the water so that you can breathe, because we human beings, we cannot breathe underwater. Then what about those animals like fish? They also need air, isn't it? We just saw that not only human beings but also animals need air. So what about this poor fish which live underwater? Or what about this tortoise? Okay, and look, there are a lot of fish behind them also. Now the tortoise can live on land also. You know that these are amphibians. They can live on land as well as they can live in water. But how does it breathe when it is underwater? So let us look at an example from which you must have seen about, and then we will understand and now how these animals underwater breathe. So have you seen this kind of fish tank or aquarium in people's houses? You must have seen this, okay? They have beautiful glass tanks filled with water, and then you have wonderful fish swimming around in this tank. This we call it as a fish tank, or sometimes we also call it as an aquarium. And this aquarium or fish tank is always full of water, okay? So now if you understand this example, you will understand how animals or fish which are in the ocean and in the sea, they also breathe. So look here, look at this fish in the tank breathing. Can you see this? It's opening its mouth and it is breathing. Opening its mouth and it's breathing. It is breathing. So we should not breathe with our mouth, children. But these fish, they taken water in which air is there through the mouth. So they use the air which is dissolved in the water. Now let us look how air dissolves in the aquarium. So have you seen this kind of a machine in people's homes where there are aquarium Now if you do not have a friend who has got an aquarium at home, you cannot you can go to the shops where they sell aquariums and you can look this pictures. Okay, so always with an aquarium you will see this kind of machine which keeps on adding bubbles to the water. Now it is adding bubbles to the water means it is adding air to the water, and because of this air that the machine is adding the fish are able to breathe well. Okay, let's move on. Look here also, there is a big machine but it is hidden inside the cave. Okay, it is hidden inside the cave. Some people do not want others to see the machines, so it is hidden inside the small cave, and then you will see that this water keeps on getting added to the air, keeps on getting added to the water. Sometimes we change the water also. People change the water every week or every month. Okay, so the fish which live in the water, they use this air which is mixed up with the water. Look, such a big aquarium. Such a big aquarium, isn't it? Such a big fish tank. Look, fishes are bigger than the people. Can you see all of them are breathing? Can you see big air machines? Now in a small aquarium there is a small air machine, and in the big aquarium there is a bigger air machine. Can you see the bubbles? So the fish make use of the air which is dissolved inside the water for breathing. Okay, look, one more image. How he is breathing. Okay, how he is breathing. The fish. This is the fish called as a carp. Look, this is how fishes breathe. Okay, now how do you mix up air? You just blow air into the water, all right, and you can see how the air gets mixed up into the water, and some of the air also tends to move out or tends to rise up and go out of the water. Okay, these bubbles are actually these bubbles are the air. So the bubbles, so some bubbles you can see in the fish tank also. So this is how we try to mix air with water. Now children, who mixes air in the water of the ocean or the water of the sea? It happens naturally. There is no one who is mixing there, or there is no machine which mixes air with the water in the oceans and in the seas. It happens naturally. Okay, let's move on. You must have seen this also. Alright. So children, I hope you all have understood this lesson, this interesting lesson that we have learnt today. That's all for today. Thank you, children.